Morning class. How are you all? I hope after a short break you all are fine and pink of your health. Today we are going to start with a new chapter in your history textbook. Actually, as per the old version, means in the old textbook it was chapter number 4, but now as per new module, or even you can say the new update of the NCERT textbook, it's a chapter number 3, that is in the earliest city. Now what is in the earliest city? In the earliest city, it is the one of the oldest city in the world, and it was discovered in India and present day Pakistan some 150 years ago. The city, which we called Harappa, had marvelous architecture and art. This whole civilization came to be known as the Indus Valley Civilization. In the next slide, we will learn about city Harappa. It has a two portion. Everything that what we'll learn in the from the next slide. From this chapter, we will learn introduction, dates and discoveries, Harappan cities, features of cities, Harappan people and life, Harappan economy, and how decline of Harappan. And at the end, we'll do the recapitalization. Introduction. We will now begin with a brief introduction about one of the oldest civilization of the world, which began in the Indian subcontinent through the following animation. My dear students, following animation will give you a clear idea about the city Harappa. Please do watch carefully.
About 5,000 years ago, when Egypt was ruled by pharaohs. In another part of the world, the river Indus was nourishing a unique and important urban civilization. Like the other great ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia and China, the banks of the Indus were home to some of the earliest known cities of India: Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Dholavira, Mehrangarh, and Lothal. Since Harappa was one of the first cities to be excavated on the dry bed of the river Ravi, the civilization came to be known as the Harappan civilization. The discovery was accidental. British railway engineers who were working on the Lahore-Multan railway line in Pakistan discovered a mound of mud which, when uncovered and dug up, had very high quality baked bricks. These bricks were made in the ratio 1:2:4 and were of a common size. They were made of baked mud. The engineers carried off most of them for use in construction, leaving many old structures at the Harappa site completely destroyed. The credit of a part of Harappa's discovery goes to Sir Alexander Cunningham, who in the mid-1800s excavated a section of the city. It wasn't until the early 1900s that Sir John Marshall, Director of Archaeological Survey of India, established the presence of a lost civilization. Since then, numerous lost treasures have been unearthed, never before seen by the human eye.
I hope the following animation make you clear in detail. Okay, now we'll proceed further. We'll move towards to the dates and discoveries. Right, this is what we all are talking about, the Harappan civilization or Indus Valley civilization. Scientific excavation by archaeologists. Here again I'll say archaeologist means a person who used to study about our past, led to the discovery of Harappa. Mohenjo-daro, it means mound of the dead, and other ancient sites in India and Pakistan. This you can see dates and discoveries about all the various, these are the all terracotta toys, and this is a great bath. This what I'll explain you in detail in the next slide. Was one of the first to discover Harappa Sil, and his work was continued by other archaeologists as well. Dayaram Sani, Rakhaldas Banerjee, John Marshall and J. Fleet were also, they were there during this, all the, you can say, to discover the Harappan Sil. The Harappan sites flourished nearly 5000 years ago, starting around 3300 BCE. Again I'll tell you, BCE means before Christ era, and so several phases of growth before perishing away around 1500 BCE. It means it was flourished, it was full, you can say, like how are all the metro cities and all. It was, this is what an Harappan sites were, and this is what we are talking about 5000 years ago. Various cities which is belonging to the Harappan era in India. Lothal, which is in Gujarat, Ropar, which is in Punjab, Kalibangan, which is in Rajasthan, Alamgirpur, which is in UP, that is Uttar Pradesh, Banawali, that is in Haryana, Rakhigroi, that is in Haryana, Dholavira, again in Gujarat, Sur, Kotara, again in Gujarat. These are the various places which these cities were belonging to at that time, Harappan eras. Alright, you can see this, all the various Mehergarh, then this Mohenjo-daro, Amri, these are the various places. This is metal cart from Harappa. This is dancing girls from Mohenjo-daro. What is Mohenjo-daro? On the banks of Indus River in Larkana in district Sindh, and where you all know about it, Harappa. Harappa, which is near the bank of Ravi River, Montgomery in district, Pakistan. Indus River. As majority of sites have been discovered around Indus River, the Harappan civilization, and is also called Indus Valley civilization. You can see from the picture, this is known as the Indus River. Features of cities: town planning, buildings, drainage system. Now we will see one by one, alright, and we'll study one by one. All this three important. Town planning. Harappan cities were carefully planned. Urban centers and their architectural layouts were systematic and so scientific ground. You can see such a beautiful way they had done the planning and all. Can you see? This is an aerial view of Harappa. Just see. This is an aerial view of Harappan cities. And this is from the inside. In the next upcoming slide, I'll show you a small animation video also, through which it will make you more clear. Just see how they have done the town planning and all. Moving further, we'll see main road and street in Mohenjo-daro. The roads and lanes ran parallel to one another and intersected at right angles. The width of lanes at that time, okay, and by lanes was 1/4 and 1/6 of the main road, dividing the city in proportionate rectangular blocks. You can see this. These are the various rectangular blocks. Okay, first picture. This is what I am talking about. This is what we'll study further about the drainage system and all. The roads were paved with backed bricks. Sharp turns in road were avoided for easy movements of cars. At the time, these types of cars they used to were used by the people. You can see this, how beautifully they design with the backed bricks. Okay, so once the brick is been baked, it has become more stronger, and of course all the bricks used to bake. Buildings. Moving forward, we'll see about the buildings. Civic buildings in Harappan sites. The Harappan people built palace, warehouse, granaries, dockyards, houses for citizen, and tall walls around their city for protection. Now you will be amazed to know few words. I know it's something new for you. Granary, it means the people used to store their grain. Dockyards, here ship used to come and repaired. Houses for citizen and tall walls around their city for the protection. So they in such a way they used to prepare. All right, the tall walls. You can see the walls here. All right. Moving forward, we'll see Harappan houses. First we learn about the roads. Now we'll go and so first we learn about the town planning. Then we had seen the roads. Now we'll see the Harappan houses. Harappan houses were aligned along the roads and were double storied with 2 or more rooms at that time. They were made of a back bricks, houses open on lengths. Alright, this is very common to know. They had open courtyards. It means you can say a big place before our home start for you sort of thing. Staircases to reach upper story. Great granary. It was used at Harappa for storing grains and was built in 2 rows. You can see here. Fine, this were the 2 rows with 6 building in each rows. Here it was, means this is just an archaeologist have found the evidence. Prior they were having a big 6 buildings in each row. The proximity of river allowed the grains to be transferred on ferries through rivers. Means the small boats you can say used to transfer all the grains from one place to another with the through rivers. Round brick platform at Mohenjo-daro. This is also a place. You can see this. Just see. Evidence of round brick platforms close to the granary suggests it was used for threshing the grains. This were used for threshing the grains. The granary also has wall division and air ducts. It means a ventilator sort of thing, which also suggests that the building was a granary. It is an elaborate public bath with its pool laid with burnt bricks and lined with bitumen for waterproofing. It's a type of material. Alright, see, can you see the aerial view of a great bath? Great bath has its own big story. The pool has column gallery around it. Can you see the gallery around it? And steps that lead to the base of the pool. Here the people used to come for special occasion to take a bath. Any of the ritual functions, the king they'll come, the people used to come. Even there is an underground 2 rooms in a different places, which one is been used for the men and another is used for the women. So if any of the ritual, if they want to perform, first they have to come to the great bath, they have to take a dip, and then they have to go for any of the rituals. And it is a steps. Once the bathing is over, they have a special drainage inside the pool, and with the help of that drainage they will drain out all the water. Can you see this? Yes, exactly. This is a well, great bath and well from which water was drawn, water from a large well in the compound, and it was used to fill the pool. This from with the help of this, they'll draw the water and then they'll fill the pool. And it also had an outlet drain to empty the pool once the bathing is over. The great bath was used for religious purification. Drainage system. Drains in Mohenjo-daro. Sewerage and drainage system was very advanced See, at that time also it was very advanced than any other civilization of that time. Wastewater from houses rain through covered drain into a large drain running under the main road from this small drainage. Can you see this? The water used to go and then it goes underground the main road. Means it a small this drainage system will of the water will fall into the larger drain. Drains covered with stone. Kitchens, bathrooms had sloping floors. So, because of the sloping floor, water won't be you can say they won't be because of the sloping floors, water won't be locked at a fixed period. Manholes in Harappan drains were left open at regular intervals for cleanings, and these drains used to open at a regular intervals, and even the men used to clean the drainage system. The main drain were lined with the burnt bricks, and smaller drains were lined with the clay tiles. This is the main drain, you can see, and this all were the lined with the clay tiles, means this has been covered. Double-storied house in Mohenjo-daro. Harappan houses were aligned along the roads and were double story with 2 or more rooms. Can you see this is a double story? Or you can see the one or the other. They were made of a back bricks and open in the land. Can you see? This is all an open. They had an open courtyards and staircase to reach upper story. Means they may be inside the staircase or it may be the outside to reach from one floor to the another floor. Students, now a small animation which make you more clear about the Harappan civilization.
Hello, my name is Hindral. Nearly 5,000 years ago, I lived in the city of Mohenjo-daro. Sadly, time spares no one. After its period of glory, my city too got buried under the sands of time. Today, I have conjured up my city for you to show how we lived. Come, let me take you on a guided tour of my city.
The cities of the Harappa civilization were essentially divided into 2 parts, except Dholavira, which had 3. The part towards the west was higher, built on a raised hill, and was known as the citadel. The other part on the east was called the lower town and was of a lesser height. The citadel was a prominent mound surrounded by fortified walls. It was the nerve center of the city.
Here is the Great Bath. It was an important structure in the upper town.
A huge tank called the Great Bath was made watertight by plaster and natural tar. It was probably used for bathing purposes by the rulers and had steps leading down to the water on both sides.
Let me take you to the lower town now.
The lower town was the residential area where the common folk lived. It was a thriving economic and cultural center. The houses were single or double-story high, whereas streets were laid out in a grid-like pattern intersecting each other at right angles. Houses opened onto smaller lanes on the outside and courtyards on the inside. Within the house, separate rooms were made for different activities. Some rooms appear to have been set aside for bathing. Wastewater from the bathroom was directed to the drains which lined the inner streets. Larger drains on the main street assisted the flow of wastewater towards the outskirts of the city. This proved the existence of a well-planned drainage system. The city received its water supply from large public wells. These provided water for bathing and washing purposes for the citizens.
I do hope you enjoyed looking at my city and learned something from it. I must bid you adieu now. So goodbye and all the best.
Now the question. The first archaeologist to discover a Harappan artifact was the option Dayaram Sahni, Rakhaldas Banerjee, Sir Alexander Cunningham or Sir John Marshall. I am giving you 1 minute to think. Alright. And the correct answer is... And the correct answer is C. Very good. Sir Alexander Cunningham. He was one of the first people to discover a Harappan seal. His work was continued by other archaeologists including Dayaram Sahni, Rakhaldas Banerjee, Sir John Marshall and J. Flint. Thank you, class. Stay home, stay safe. Next, part 2 will be uploading in my next lecture.